We all want to think we could be unstoppable if we really put our minds to it. But the truth is, well, it takes a lot of work and a lot of experience. You can't just wake up one day and boom, you're unstoppable. It takes time, focus, and dedication to build the mindset and the habits that allow you to be the unstoppable force of nature you want to be. Those who actually are unstoppable are few and far between, but there is one type of man who embodies this force: the Sigma male. In this video, I'll dive into the theory and ideas that make Sigma men unstoppable. Sigma men are calm, confident, and while they tend to be on the quiet side, they will be direct, blunt, and honest when the situation calls for it. Because of this, they aren't always considered the good guys, but they do garner a lot of respect for their ability to stay level-headed and remain calm in stressful situations. The Sigma is an enigma, and it seems that nothing can faze or rile him. So, what gives? Well, the answer comes down to his attitude towards life, and this attitude is wrapped up in something called Stoicism. Stoicism goes hand in hand with the way Sigma males live their lives on a daily basis. Hailing from ancient Greece and Rome, it's a practical philosophy of how life should be lived. But even today, this philosophy remains misunderstood by most. In fact, people often get the wrong idea when they hear the word Stoicism. They may well connect it to being emotionless, which isn't the case, as we'll find out. From Socrates to Plato, Seneca to Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, this philosophy is what the Sigma male lives by, whether he intends to or not. It's what keeps him grounded and what gives him the unstoppable capabilities to succeed at anything he puts his mind to. At the root, Stoics like the Sigma believe that we are all equals, that our relationships with one another have nothing to do with wealth, power, status, or possession. None of those things hold any social importance. The way we respond to the world is our own responsibility, and it's not about being emotionless. The Sigma is able to remain so calm that he can come across as such. But the reality is that he simply doesn't show what he's feeling, and crucially, he accepts whatever's happening around him. He accepts the world as it is, and he's comfortable enough to face reality, whereas many of us prefer to stick our heads in the sand. Then we're devastated, shocked, and angry when things happen to us that are out of our control. But how are you supposed to see things coming when you've got your head in the sand? The Sigma is prepared. He considers every possibility, no matter how difficult the reality of it is to comprehend. This also means the Sigma accepts his mortality and the mortality of everyone around him. This is why unnecessary chat and petty drama aren't worth his time. This is why the Sigma doesn't like to beat around the bush and prefers to get straight to the point. A surefire approach to decide on what's important and what's not. To cut the bull and be blunt and direct. You never know what day will be your last, so by accepting this, the Sigma's able to continue to focus on the things that are important and get rid of the fluff that he wouldn't bother with if he wasn't going to wake up tomorrow. The Sigma considers all possibilities because he practices mindfulness. He's always prepared for any outcome and has a backup plan in place for how he's going to deal with things if they don't work out, or to deal with unexpected situations that pop up. Mindfulness is one of the key components to Stoicism, something that the Sigma finds himself engaging in often. He recognizes the things that he has no control over. By getting upset or emotional over things that are outside of our control, we waste precious energy and end up harboring negativity inside ourselves that festers and damages the fabric of our being. Instead of emotionally reacting or trying to change things that he can't control, the Sigma changes his attitude towards them. And this shift in perspective is what allows him to live in one of the most peaceful and content ways known to man. He shelters his happiness from outside events. His mind becomes an impenetrable fortress, and that just allows him to continue on his own journey, rendering him unstoppable. He sees the world clearly, but he's also a visionary. He can see what the world can be. With the Sigma's skills in logic and strategy, coupled with his bravery, he is a guy who is actually capable of making his vision reality, or changing things for the better. He sees the world, he sees the way modern society has evolved, and he chooses not to engage. The Sigma doesn't fall prey to the materialistic nature of modern society. He sees the way that our consumeristic culture creates more desire than it fulfills. How people are so disconnected from one another and from being their true selves because of their incessant desire to become the next big thing or to keep up with the Joneses. But are the Joneses really that happy? We work most of our lives and spend our hard-earned cash on the meaningless objects and the latest trends, convinced that we will finally be happy once we have them in our clutches, but that superficial feeling never lasts for long. The Sigma reality couldn't care less about materialistic possessions. What clothes he wears, what car he drives, whether he has the latest iPhone. He's grateful for the things he does have, the things that really matter to him, that have real meaning. His goals, his hobbies, his emotional and his physical health, his experiences, his education. He's an incredibly clever and intelligent individual, always striving to learn more from a variety of sources so he can better understand the world around him and continue to be successful in a multitude of ways. He's all about becoming a better version of himself every day, with more knowledge today than he had yesterday. And the more he understands, the more interesting and the more worthwhile life becomes. It's not about seeking external thrills and indulging in hedonistic activities, but he seeks pleasure and fulfillment in advancing his own understanding of the world around him and developing real connections. His aversion to what everyone else is doing also means that he doesn't give in to peer pressure and is not swayed by the words and actions of others. And this frees him up to pursue opportunities and have experiences that can further enrich his life and enable him to thrive and prosper. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The barrier to action promotes action." Essentially, what is in your way can become your way. And the Sigma is living proof of this. When he's faced with roadblocks and obstacles, he doesn't see them as something negative to freak out about, but just part of the journey, an unexpected opportunity to succeed. So, all he has to do is stay calm and find a way around it, which he does. See? Unstoppable. The Stoic Sigma is all about integrity, honesty, and authenticity. He doesn't seek outside approval or feel that he has to pretend to be someone he's not. He knows exactly who he is and what he can do, and he always gives 110% whether he triumphs or not. And that's all that's required. He would never sacrifice his integrity to be accepted. The most important thing is how you view yourself, not how others perceive you. And this goes for work too. When it comes to his career, the Sigma will always look out first and foremost for his own integrity and growth, not to jostle for top position in the hierarchy like the alpha and beta males. Regardless, the Sigma has an incredible, unwavering work ethic and all the hallmarks of a natural leader, although he won't be bothered about taking on that role unless he feels he should. Whatever position he finds himself in, he will do well, and this is not only due to his diligence and tenacity, but because he refuses to get caught up in rivalry or office politics. This means he can concentrate on the task at hand, producing the best results and, therefore, grow professionally and personally. But what if he does make a mistake? Well, it's no big deal, and he won't for a moment beat himself up for it. I mean, what's the point? That's no longer in his control. He recognizes failure as an important part of growth, and he sees it as a learning experience, and he uses it as fuel to achieve. It makes success taste that much sweeter. This perseverance, along with his resilience, makes him a fighter. He'll fight his way to the end to get what he wants. There's no standing in his way. He'll just find a way around you. And of course, no matter whether it's at work or in his personal life, the Sigma doesn't waste his time arguing. He doesn't display outbursts of emotion, instead favoring an approach of logic and reason, which is why he often gets labeled as emotionless. He doesn't see what good can come out of being anything other than courteous, focused, and calm. He prefers to actively listen rather than speak. But while he might not have much to say, he's not without thought. The Sigma is a profound thinker. He's always taking in the world around him from an objective point of view and pondering the wonders and workings of the universe, recognizing our insignificance in the grand scheme of it all. The more of a grounded understanding he achieves about the workings of life, the more unstoppable he becomes. So the Sigma will happily spend hours in his own mind trying to understand the beauty and complexity of life. Ultimately, there's no point in sweating the small stuff. Life is short, and we have to make the most of it without getting caught up in the minutiae of it all. And this is what makes the Sigma unstoppable. So what about you? Do you feel unstoppable, or are you working to get there? Let's get a conversation going in the comment section, and if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out to grow the channel and allows me to keep bringing you more content like this. That's all for this one, and I'll see you next time.